Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Amit, and this is part 4 of my video on update on buying my very first rental property. If you've been following me from very beginning, I want to thank you for your support and watching my channel, and hopefully you are getting value out of things that I'm sharing. Okay, and please, if you can, hit that like button and subscribe. That would be great. Okay, so let's get in. So I found a website named Roofstock about 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, let's say. They are an investment, basically, website for where seller goes to sell their house and investor goes to, like I would be a buyer, to buy the house. The concept is pretty straightforward. You can invest out of your home without having to go and look at the property, because the properties are not accessible. Like me, I live in out of state, and this makes a lot easier for people to go ahead and look at everything about that property, and even look at the inspection report, the rental. Most time they are rented and there's some guarantees built in, so you feel very confident, right? The properties you're buying, but you gotta be very careful. Some of those properties are not cash flowing, so you don't want to buy an investment that doesn't give you money, rather is costing you money, like my old car. All right, so financing, right? After you buy that house, after you say, hey, I want to buy it, to the seller, and then they accept it on that website, that bid, how are you gonna buy it? If you have cash, that's great. You just go ahead and deposit that money into wherever they tell you, and paperwork goes through. Now, like if you're like me, who is trying to basically leverage debt to kind of become wealthier, my whole idea is I'm trying to experiment with the Rich Dad Poor Dad from Robert Kiyosaki, and his friend, basically Kenny Worth ABCs. He wrote that book. Or if you follow Bigger Pocket, right, rental property. Or so I've been watching a lot of videos around that, and have read a couple books. So I've decided to pull trigger. So I found a property, right? Long story short, I decided to go ahead. I had enough down payment, so I decided to go ahead and buy the property. And my pain point was financing. If you watched my other videos, the part 3, part 2, part 1, right? A lot of them are complaining. Like I had to, for last 2 weeks, this is week 2, I kind of had a headache. I feel like just talking to all of these brokerage and all these banks. At first I was talking to all these banks. The banks didn't want to give me the best deal right out of the bat. Then I was like, fine. One of my friend I was just talking to, I was like, hey man, I'm buying this property, and the numbers they're giving me is a bit high. How do I get cheaper number? They're like, well, you gotta reach out to mortgage broker. They're not a bank, but they act as a bank, and then they basically bundle it up and sell it back to the banks. So I was like, fine. So I talked to a couple lender broker. They give you notoriously not zero, lower interest rate and origination, but where they charge you a lot of fees on their origination fees. So it's like give and take. You gotta do your best to basically, the couple things that so I want to share on this video, this blog, is my winner and who were the contingent content who are the people who are participating, I guess, let's put it that way. Few of them are just the highlight. I talked to Navy Federal Credit Union. I'm a member of them. I talked to Chase Bank, Wells Fargo Bank, American Bank of America. What else? Ally Bank, Axos Bank. Any other bank? I think that was all the banks. And then I talked to a bunch of mortgage broker as well. I filled out application on Loan Depot, I filled out application on Credible. I filled out my application on what else? The one. There was another website, but out of that, one of the website that I really like was better.com. So I was wondering if somebody else could give me the same process but cheaper, and they did. It was Ally Mortgage. So basically, I filled out my information, my co-borrower. I'm borrowing with a friend. They have given me the best rate. Basically, the way you want to do that is basically put all the information in and wait a couple days at least. This is like third or fourth day before their rate got adjusted and the rate that I wanted and I was seeing. So let's walk through the rate that I have decided to go with. So this property, right, the loan amount is $156,000. Now the house that I'm buying is $195,000. So I'm putting 20% down. So that's why the finance amount is $156,000. The interest rate on this property that I'm getting is 3.625. The main reason behind it is because I am saying this is investment property. I will not be living in there. Otherwise, if I did live in there, I could get a lot cheaper. Probably 2.5, close to that. Monthly, right, principal interest, they're expecting somewhere $711. All right. I don't have balloon payment. I don't have yearly penalty payment, so I can make more payment if I want to. Right. Here's the estimated escrow. This is about $71 tax and anything else. Right. I don't have mortgage. Well, I do. I don't have mortgage insurance. Okay. This is when you have less than 20% down payment. So that's when the add-on slap on this too. So this comes down to be $782. This one I think also includes the taxes, insurance, and assessment. So that's why it's $782. You have to pay property tax and you have to have insurance, home insurance. Okay. So let's break down some of the costs. This is how it looks like. This is called a loan estimator or estimate. If you talk to any of the vendor, tell them to send you over a loan estimate so you can actually literally see exactly what fees they are charging. Excuse me. The fees that you should be looking out for is right here, loan cost right here. 1.645 loan amount points. So this basically comes down to be let's say you had $1 million, and out of that $1 million, they charge you basically whatever the percent, 1%, 2%, to lock in that rate, whatever the cheapest rate they can give you. And then they charge you this stupid origination fee, which I don't like this, honestly. The only reason I'm paying because they are the cheapest. Okay. Otherwise, I would not have paid that. Actually, Escrow Bank was giving me better deal. They actually took that out. So, yeah. I feel like this should not be there because if I'm paying you this point, this should be enough for the bank. Even that, it should be less than 1% because everything is electronic nowadays. You know. And this right here, service you cannot shop for, right? You will live for that. A lot of time they have these services that they themselves will not let you shop for. These appraisal fees. Sit down, credit card report and flood. I seen that there was a company wanted to charge me $1,000. Like, come on, man. You know, they're like, oh, there's nothing you can do. But here's the services you can shop for, like the service for title, right? You could select their own title or get somebody else. In my case, since I'm buying with Roofstock, they already have selected titling company. The selected is called Spruce Land Co. So that's who they're going with, and I decided to just use them. Okay, so this cost right here comes down to be $5,670, right? And then you have taxes. Of course, you gotta pay taxes. Very important. And then prepaid, right? These are your home insurance for 1 year. Most likely, this is estimate because I still haven't. I can get my own insurance, right? So this is gonna be probably cheaper. prepaid interest, right, for 15 some days, I guess. Property tax for 6 months. Then you have escrow payment, right? This property insurance, property tax. Lastly, you got title owner title insurance. I believe this is basically to protect you if someone later sues and says they have a claim against the house from before you purchase it. This is a one-time fee and covers last until you sell the home, right? Insurance isn't required, but we recommend it. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna get this because the house that I'm buying is 2019 and it's year old, 1 year old, and I don't think I need that. I hope that the company that bought it before me, they did a good job of searching that title, so that's optional, and I'm gonna take the risk. Right. Total other cost. Right, this is EFGH, so combine all of these. You get here, and here's a closing cost. This seems to be somehow, doesn't matter whichever vendor you talk to, somehow they like this is like a magic number right around $8,000, and I'm like, I don't know. I feel like doesn't matter how you slice this, you're gonna pay $8,000, almost 8,000, 9,000. But you can shop for the interest rate and the origination point, right? Because if you have cheaper interest rate, then your monthly mortgage will be lower. And origination point, right, it will save you a little money because it's not really monthly, is right at the front. That is more money for the bank. All right, so here's the calculation is the cost, right? Total closing cost. I need to have $8,074. Then down payment of $39,000. Grand total will come down to $47,074. Yeah, that's a lot of money. I was only calculating that 20%, honestly, but after going through all of these, yeah, you should always down payment plus $8,000 more at minimum. Calculate. Okay, and here's my 5 year, and percentage rate is 3.873. So the rate that they quote you is different than the APR. Okay, so that's something else. Found it very interesting. All right, guys. So this was my experience. Basically, now the only thing is left from here on out is to verify all my documents, which Ally Bank does very nicely. You can just upload everything to the portal, and then I have already actually paid for the appraisal fees. That's how I locked in the rate. Otherwise, you can just keep coming every single day and look at the rate task. It just updates, which is nice if you're trying to shop around. That's highly recommended. And go with take a look at Better Mortgage, take a look at Ally, and Axos Bank. And then there's a Americi Funding. They gave me pretty decent. They were charging a little bit fees, but decent rate are my recommendation.